In today's video, guys, we find out what happens if Boss Raz meets his NPC ghost form over at the Colossal Crops. This is going to be a super exciting video. If you guys aren't already subscribed around here, roughly 98% of you guys watching this video right now aren't subscribed. So tap that subscribe button. Let's get to 300,000 and continue going to the moon. Now, before we get into this, I just want to say that the NPC in replay mode does not show up in his ghost form. You'll be able to tell it's him because he always crosses his arms and loves to stand still. No time to waste, let's jump in. And we are off, jumping straight into the Spire to go and find our Shockwave bow to start moving the Boss Raz over to the Colossal Crops area. This video took a total of 9 hours, and if you want to support that sort of content, which takes over 9 hours to create this amazing content for you guys, smash that like button. Let's try and hit over 10,000 likes. Thank you everyone considering to do that. Now, the plan for the video to allow Raz to actually move over to the NPC Raz a lot easier was to clear this area out I've marked out of red. Big shout out to my Discord squad who came in clutch clearing out that area, which allows a clear path for Raz to be impulsed slowly over to Colossal Crops. Now, let's try this and see if we can pull it off and manage to get Raz to meet his NPC form. Now, obviously, landing at the Spire wasn't an easy task, so we had to split land and we had to search for as many arrows as possible and even come across 2 Shockwave bows, so we had 2 of us continuing to impulse Raz. While the looting was going on, my team were well ahead, clearing all the path that would get in the way to stop Raz from getting to Colossal Crops. So big shout out to you guys. Like I said before, this was a huge area to clear and there was so much work put into this, so it's been a crazy video. And as you can see, we cleared even this pond right here to make sure Raz wouldn't get stuck in there, just in case the bow did impulse him even further. And obviously we had to knock down this building in Colossal, otherwise the NPC would just sit at the top, and we needed him down at the bottom, so we moved him down by knocking down the building. And now it was time to start impulsing the Boss Raz. You can see we already started firing a few arrows in here, which sent him well off the Spire, and we had to continue this up to allow him to move as far as possible into the map. One wrong arrow though would send him the complete wrong direction. Now, switching into the first person point of view, you can see I have got my Shockwave bow, and I'm going to slowly start to Shockwave Raz over towards the actual Colossal location. That was a really bad one. Let's try another one. Okay, that's a perfect one right there. Luckily enough, Raz has got so much HP we can hit him directly. But guys, as I'm editing this video, I just like to tell you Raz has officially been nerfed on his HP. So if you go and battle him in-game right now, you'll notice he has a lot less HP. Go and try it for yourself. It's very easy to defeat him now, and if you've not defeated him yet, now's your time. Jumping back in, you can see what I had to do was continue to impulse Raz, and we were on a huge spree right here, doing a really good job at Raz. He'd almost lost his shield, but because he's got over 4,000 HP, we should be set, because the other boss, when they meet, even if they do fight, I think 2,000 HP is enough for the Boss Raz to have. So we're continuing this, and we're doing a really good job continuing to move these. I still wish that Battle Labs was in the game. For those wondering, I always say this, but Battle Labs is the mode where I could do so much. You had a 3-hour lobby. Currently, we had to do this perfectly, and this took over 9 hours to do. Come on, guys. Hashtag save Battle Labs. Hashtag free Battle Labs. Hashtag bring back Battle Labs. Get it in the comments. Let's get Battle Labs back so it can save us time on these videos. But you can see we are trying our best to impulse him, and we've got him so far. He's almost at his destination right now. So continuing this up, we should be able to get him there any second now. As this continued, you could see Raz was getting a little bit more difficult to impulse the closer he got to his location. I feel like the further he got away from the Spire, the harder it became. He seemed to run faster back. Luckily enough, he was not using his super or teleport ability while we were doing this impulse process. Raz was getting ever so close right now, and unfortunately we came across a little bit of a problem. He accidentally fell inside of our water. This was the hardest part for us, because once the boss gets stuck in the water, you can't get them out. For some reason, the impulse effect doesn't work. Luckily enough though, Raz's home was over towards the Spire, so he continues to try and walk home, and as he tries to walk home, he actually breaks himself out, which allows us to impulse him once again closer to the location of himself again. I guess Raz and Raz are meeting. So this is going to be super exciting. Let's see how close we can get him to the NPC Raz and see what's going to happen when these two do meet. We're getting ever so close right now. With a few perfect more impulses, he should be almost there. A few extra shots, that's a nice one there, sending him a little bit further. He is getting ever so close right now. You can see how close the Boss Raz is to these. He's a little bit low on HP, but that's okay. His HP isn't too much to worry about. He has so much HP anyway, so it should be okay here. He at least has over 1,000 left. So I'm so close to impulsing him to himself. He's about to meet the NPC version of Raz. Oh no, that was an awful one. Come on, we are so close. My friend Rain Hunters, who's a pro player, is also helping me out in here because he can hit these shots much better than me. But I'm trying my best to get these shots off on the Raz, and this is going to be a perfect one. It is. We can see how, look how close these two are together right now. They are literally together. You can see they are meeting right now. We need to try and get them in the same box right next to each other to see if anything does happen. You can see he he is still targeting on me. So we need to try and get him off me and get him inside of a box so he targets his friend. You can see he is still on me. Okay, Boss Raz, let's move you in a little bit. The NPC's just currently stood there watching what's going on. He's probably thinking himself, hold on a minute, how am I seeing myself in the game? The loop is crazy. That's probably what he's thinking. The loop has completely looped the system, which is just insane. So let's take a little look at what exactly happened when these two met right here before we try boxing them up. You can see we do get the Raz very, very close towards the NPC Raz. The Raz gets super close. The NPC Raz, again, like I said before, doesn't actually show up in the replay. He shows up in his standard form in here. So here is Raz 1, I guess, in the loop. Then we've obviously got the other version of Raz, which is just crazy to think there's two versions of him on the map, and they're both going to meet for the first time. You can see right here, the Boss Raz gets so close to the NPC one. The NPC one's like, nope, I'm walking away from you. I have nothing to do with you. You are not me anymore. And he just completely ignores him. This is so funny. You see the NPC one's just stood there like, oh no, player's gone down. Oh well, I'm just going to chill. He does actually get damage right there because the explosions do actually hit the player down, which would have hit the NPC Raz. But he takes no damage at all and just completely stands still. You know, see, look how close these two are. It's like they're almost teaming. He just continues to walk around and the boss continues to fire at Raz. Now, let's skip a little bit ahead and see if we can box these two together in the same box and see if they'll do anything when they're very, very close and in an enclosed space together. Alright, so with a few perfect impulses coming on Raz right now, we're going to get him super close to the other one, and what we're going to do is we're going to box them up in the same box. So I'm almost there, I just need to heal up a little bit. Raz is doing quite a lot of damage to me, and he's on super low health. Most of the damage he has taken is actually from himself. He seems to be damaging himself with the bow, which is a big surprise. To be honest, I didn't really expect that, and I really expected Raz not to damage himself too much, but it looks like he is damaging himself a lot. But that's okay. Let's keep impulsing him out and see if we can get him a little bit closer to the destination and hope that he does manage to reach there very, very soon. Okay, one more impulse should send him over here. This should allow us to get him in the box. He's very, very close now. Okay, another perfect one, and that's perfect. That allows us to send Raz in. Let's see if we can box him up in there. We're going to see if these two meet inside of the box. Okay, that's perfect. The box is in, and they are ready. They are inside the same box right now, and they are currently in an enclosed space. And you can see Raz is actually going crazy. He actually downed me, and the other Raz is just completely stood there looking at him. And he's like, nope. My other form, my glide form, has nothing to do with me, and he's just staring him out right here. He's looking at him like, what are you doing here, Raz? Why are you doing this to us? And he's just staring at him. This is so funny. I got absolutely eliminated right there in this replay. You can see this boss just does not care about his other form. He just stands completely still in his ghost form. Obviously in replay that doesn't show, but that is crazy, and that is an insane one right there. We managed to get these two to meet, which was just an incredible outcome. But I wanted to show you guys one little thing before we ended up the video, just to show you guys that these NPCs do battle if they aren't in ghost form. So what we've decided to do is actually impulse Boss Raz over to Cobb, who is located in Risky. This was an easy one to do because he's only down the road, and I thought, you know what, I may as well show you guys this because it's only a short clip, just to show you guys what happens if an NPC meets that isn't in ghost form. So maybe we can make a separate video on this with other NPCs if you're interested, but here it is with the actual Cobb one, just to give you guys a little overview of what exactly happens. So you can see Raz himself is still hostile to me right here, so we're impulsing him over, and I'm just going to skip ahead to the bit where they do meet. So here it is. So we've skipped ahead to when these two meet, and as you can see, what happens is the Raz boss accidentally shoots the actual Cobb, and once he hits Cobb, that is it. Cobb is off for the elimination, and these two battle it out at a long distance fight. You can see Cobb's here with his AR absolutely spraying down Raz, and Raz is still trying to hit Cobb with his bow at distance. A really interesting one, and one I didn't really expect him to lock on for that range. Both of these NPCs do not usually have this sort of range. They won't shoot at this range of the game. Raz will not target you at that distance, but for some reason, these two continue to aim at each other because once they're locked on, they do not give in, which I thought was kind of an exciting one between these two. Look at Cobb completely spraying him down. You can even see Raz has actually stopped shooting his bow for a second. He hasn't fired one in a little bit of time, so that's kind of interesting to see. Oh, he's firing it again now, so he's back in the range, and you can see Cobb is also aiming at him. This is really interesting to see the battle between these two, and because Raz is in the storm, I've gone over to try and regen him using his super, but it looks like he's probably going to get eliminated by the storm and Cobb together. But in an ideal situation, Raz would win this. We've seen Raz take on so many NPCs and absolutely wreck them, but because he's got a little bit of range on him, Cobb, right here, Raz is already on quite low HP because the storm is dealing tons of damage to him. Cobb is actually doing quite well against Raz because he has the range advantage. This means that Raz's health is obviously going to get drained, and Cobb does manage to take him out there at that range distance due to the storm. And congrats to Cobb to soloing Raz. Don't forget to check out these other videos on screen right now if you enjoyed this one, and support me in the item shop with code POSTBOXPAT. That's POSTBOXPAT. Pop it in your shop to support me, and thank you for watching.